Hi, I'm Sudha. I work as a counselor and I'm from Unda. And it's so meaningful for me to have a team here who wants to bring this to awareness. Yeah, I'd like to ask Inche Nadim, what made you want to tell this story?
Hi, my name is Nadim Hisham. I'm from Astro One. I'm the producer writer for the show. The show is actually from the creator Mira Mustafa, who created the show, pitched to us.
What made you take the show? Because you get an opportunity to work with so many topics. What made you go for this topic?
This show in particular for me was different from all the other shows I've did because it felt like a responsibility.
Thank you.
From the first part, from the first time when she pitched to the room, it just felt like this story is important and it's something that needs to be said. And it reminded me why I wanted to become a filmmaker in the first place.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I say that from my heart because this topic is something very close to me, to my heart. I've seen so much pain and nowhere to bring it to light. And this show has a story beneath the story.
Yeah.
A whodunit is the outside story and this is the inner one. Thank you.
Yes, but just to clear, like we are thankful for the audience on watching the show, but the show was intended to highlight about the grief of a father.
Yes.
Yeah. And his process of like finding the truth and uncovering his past.
Yeah.
And we felt like that was the deeper story and what we wanted to tell people most over the show.
And when people have experienced sexual abuse or the child has experienced that kind of abuse, that father doesn't get a chance for a second to be with the grief because there's so much anger at society, anger at the world, anger at himself, shame that I wasn't there with my child. There's no place to process the grief, yeah?
Yeah. Especially when you're a person who doesn't know how to process it at all in the first place.
Yes.
So one thing is like not having the space and also not having the tools or capability of doing such things because you're not exposed to know how to do those things, right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
so this show is in a way like a mirror to the society, in a way to tell them like what happens when a person doesn't know how to do it, and or in a way blocked it out of their minds and their selves, right?
They don't block it out of their minds in Chinadu. It gets blocked because when there is no space to talk about it.
Yes.
So the society's lack of being able to offer that space.
Yeah.
And society isn't to blame simply because we don't know what pain is and we don't know how to process this pain, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a matter of like education and awareness that needs to be, how you say, terapkan in our society so that we are better equipped with these things. Yeah, because I think we can see that with the lack of understanding of our emotions and how to process them, we are seeing it in the repercussions of like the crime, like, sexual abuse, like there's rape, there's so many other things also, domestic abuse, all the things like, because the person in the first place cannot regulate their own emotions and they can process the trauma. Yeah. So that's why we hope for this show in a way to bring that awareness for people to see, to learn from something about it.
Thanks so much. Thanks so very much. And what we hope to create, what I hope that can be created through this show in our society is that if anyone wants to speak up, everyone has that social responsibility to hear. To hear pain means whenever we see behaviors that are off center, there is no center when we see behaviors too much or too little or whatever behaviors, instead of judging, if society can just ask, I wonder what happened. There is a reason for this behavior. Something has happened to that individual to be producing these behaviors.
Yeah.
Like Inche Yasser said, I can't remember. He wasn't bluffing. He really can't remember because his body's mind or the instinctive mind shuts all this away to help him survive.
Yes.
But people think he's bluffing
Yeah.
instead of judging.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there is also something young we have to see like in the society when we don't understand something. There's this thing like when you don't understand, you're quick to judge them, quick to like immediately attack the person or attack the topic.
Exactly.
Making it a taboo thing. And at the same time, that is what make that is what makes a lot more people, especially men, to really,
not open up.
never open up.
Yes. That's the word, not
Yeah.
open up. No, never open up.
Yeah.
Because how do you talk something? Because any judgment comes from fear. So when we fear a topic, we distance ourselves from the
Yeah.
topic. We quickly judge it, stamp it, put it down,
Yeah.
and the person suffering doesn't get help.
Yeah, and then
That's
I
the
think,
saddest.
yeah, and that's what we try to show through Yase also. Yeah, when you keep it too much and you think that it doesn't exist anymore, but
It exists.
it exists. It's there. No matter how much you try to avoid it,
You can't. Our body's mind, the instinctive mind, will shove it aside, and it keeps leaking and leaking and leaking. It's sad. It's very sad. They don't get help. So again, instead of saying, kenapa lah dia buat macam itu? Kenapa dia buat macam ini? Just say, ada sebabnya. There is a reason this is happening.
It is, yeah.
Can you say?
Yeah. That's what we hope for. That's what we hope for people to watch. And I think that is sort of like the reaction yang we think people would think lah. People will immediately see, because in a way, how we work, we have to expect what the audience is thinking. And I think that is part of our sort of direction, So by knowing what they're trying to think about, what the character is going through, like it's like you mirror their thinking, you mirror what they're trying to feel. But yeah, what we're trying to make is that make them understand and empathize what he's going through actually. Yeah, I'm going through, like per episode by episode, and then something about the character, and like it's deeper than that, and it's
Exactly,
deeper.
it's deeper than that. And I took the liberty of asking someone I work with written permission, would you share with me your journey with such a trauma as that is depicted in the show? And I've written it down word by word so I don't change that person's words to give respect to that. Is it okay if I read that out?
Sure. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this person said, Sudha, it's not about the trauma. It's not about what happened in childhood. That finished so long ago. But every day I live with the consequences of that. And it didn't make sense to me until I started this work. But before that, I was constantly trying to prove to whom, to prove to what, to prove to the world. I'm just trying to conquer that I'm good enough. Because that will give me power. We need to conquer. I need to conquer, then I can't get hurt again. Now it makes sense to her, but before she didn't get it. I hear the same thing regularly. Yeah? This person said, I know it's not true. I cannot get power like that. I cannot be safe like that. Yet I can't stop. It's like something, like a hantu inside me pushing me on and on. I want to feel that power. Sometimes I've bullied physically or emotionally to get that power. I hope to feel safe inside me, dalam saya, tapi I can never feel safe within. When this person was sharing, both of us were tearing. It was just too painful for that person to speak up and for me to hear it too in this intensity. And again, before, I don't know why I behaved like that. All that I know is I was angry inside all the time. Angry. And I don't even know why I'm angry, and I can't stop that anger. I can't stand being in my body, and I can't live without my body. I have to live in it. Outside, I look very confident, very tough, very successful. Inside is a different story. Kalam kabut, chaos, messy inside. No one gets to see that mess. Now when I look at that version of me, I'm also frightened of me. I don't know how my family put up with me. Yeah? Finally, it all started making sense when I started befriending that betrayal, that pain, that messiness inside me. And that's the consequence in Jainadim. It's not what happened, but how we have to live with what happened.
Yeah.
And the damn thing goes on for years, doesn't stop till we speak about it. So once again, I want to thank Meera, thank you, and thank your whole team for producing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, props to the director and the whole team for making this story come true emotionally, because I think that's how we can connect with people through emotions. That's the only way. If I may ask, the person, did they get professional help in the end?
Yes.
Is that how they're able to do this?
Yeah. And that's why they even had the courage to speak this. So when I reached out, it's Sudha, I can't speak about it to the world, but I can use you to speak about it.
Yeah, because I've met people, like personal, friends who go through these things, and it's not something you can just say to someone. Yeah, you need trust.
Yes, that's the key word. We need trust because there's so much shame involved in it. We need trust, and whom to trust? When people judge, trust isn't there.
Yeah, the thing when you mentioned about judging is because sometimes they just want to express and they don't want like an answer or like a direction immediately. Yeah, because I made a mistake before. Like a friend told me that she went through something, and I've said the right thing to do is like to report, but like I cannot just like take someone's trauma and just do something about it. It's them. They have to live through that. They have to make the decisions themselves, because you don't know how they are going through it, what they're thinking, and how they feel about those things. Right.
So we just hear, you gave a beautiful tip for the audience, for society. We just hear, we don't judge, we don't ask questions. It's just tough. And all that they want is a witness, someone to hear their pain.
The important part is just to be there.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank Kunda, Imelda and her team, Daniel, Joel and the others, Raymond, who had put me up here to have this conversation with you too. Thanks all.